That's one small step for man.
Out for the. Hello everyone, welcome back to Here's What's Going On podcast with me, AJ. We're going to jump right into the ABC's AJ's Book Corner. I just finished reading A Sky Full of Elephants and I'm going to give a brief review. Amazing. That is the review. I think this is going to be a movie. And I think that they need to make it into a movie. And I've already cast people that I think would be in the movie to play Charlie and Sydney's character. I think it's well done. I saw some reviews that people were like, it felt unfinished. It felt da-da-da. And I'm like, it's supposed to be that way. I don't know how to explain to people that, like, the human mind wants to always formulate, well, I feel like the majority of just regular, how do I say this without being disrespectful? That's just be disrespectful. People can just disagree and be upset. I don't care. People sometimes want to find in their mind that all stories have beginning, middle, and ends. But if we're going to write a story about real life stuff, it doesn't work that way. Life is very up and down roller coaster ride of stuff. And unfortunately, some things come to an end without a beginning. Some things come to an end without a middle. Some things begin without an end. Some things begin without a middle. Some things start in the middle and have no beginning. Like you can have parts without the end, without all the parts, you know. And I feel like the way it ended, it left it open to a person to imagine and figure out, like, oh, I hope that this person found this, and I hope this person did this, and I wonder what happens next. And maybe there will be another book and maybe not, but I think it just leaves open to the viewer and reader's interpretation to imagine what happens after. But people talk about it feels undone. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be like, oh, when we tie up every loose end. No. That's not how life works. When someone passes away abruptly or life is lost abruptly, those loose ends remain untied. There's no end. It just stops. Then and their things are left, and I don't understand. Like, I don't get what people want, but it is what it is. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it moved at the speed it needed to. I don't think it was too fast or too slow. I think it was just right. I think you have to really lock into this book and really, like, understand, like, the poetry of it. I feel like people who, because, like, I didn't even know, but there's people that are like, I just don't understand poetry. I'm like, it's cool. You don't have to, like, get it. But I, like, from writing poetry and from, like, understanding poetry and studying it, it was so poetic. The flow of it was poetic. It was just really well done. And for me, it's a hard, easy read because it does make you think. It is a bit fantasy, spiritual. It's like so dynamic. And I think dynamism or whatever was used, that word was used a lot. And it's just a beautifully done story, and I really enjoyed the book. Not as much. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's probably number 2 on the list of best books that I've read this year. I only really have 2. It was like A Country You Can Leave, and then this one. Because the way they're written, it paints such a visceral picture. And I think, the best series I've read so far will be Women's Well. Because I read last year, it was Legendborn and Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Then Tony Adeyemi was the Children of Blood and Bone series. I read that one last year. It was great. And then last year I also read Legendborn series by Tracy Dion. That was great. And then Women's War by Jenna Glass has been a really good series as well. So that's like my top series for this year so far. But, I think that this is definitely going to get made into a movie. I hope they pick the right people. I hope it's done well and done right. That's all I can think, because I've already put my people in there. Like, it's just such a decent concept. And I was telling my sibling about it, and they were telling me about, like, the real, like, the truths in there that I was finding. It's like, yeah, people really did this to themselves. Like, that really happened. They just reversed it with a different, group of people doing it. And, then, that's a truth because that's based off this archetype of this. And, like, yeah, like, it was all different kinds of stuff. But it really makes you think. It makes you have to choose. And it makes you realize a lot of things in this world that, as a Black woman, I feel and understand. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a great book. And, I encourage people to read it, but I will tell you it's an easy, hard read. It's a hard read, but it's an easy read to me, because the words are pretty decent size, and it's not that many pages. It's not that many chapters. Print's not super small. It's an easy, hard read, because it's going to challenge you to think and be understanding. And a lot of people aren't going to want to be as understanding with what's in there, and what the book is about, what the story is about. But it will, if you're open to it, it will challenge you to think. And I think you need to just dig deeper and think and find understanding, even if you disagree. So, yeah. But let's jump right into this episode. We're discussing the why behind how we instinctually decide things in our mind. In the article by Sterling L. Mosley, Ph.D., Your Instinctual Drive Predicts What You Find Beautiful. I found this article and I loved it because it sums up the ability of your body to automatically assign emotional attachment before you have the ability to consciously decide, due to what some call, human motivation and the 3 drives, and also one more added on for seasonal basically understanding or something like that. Seasonal drivers. I just call it seasonal drivers. But the first driver is bodily security and protection. The second driver is social belonging. The third is deep connection. And they basically went and conducted this research and found how high the participants' choices were driven by their motivational drives, by showing them collages. And they based it off of this person who signifies more so with the driver of, social belonging, found the collage of people talking and family gatherings to be, what they found to be aesthetically pleasing, versus a person who is, finds your body, finding protection and being protected. A person who's laying in their bed, listening to music, or a person who's reading a book, or, something like that. Protection. You find it to be cozy, things like that. You found it more based off those motivational drivers, which are your own individual. They also discuss, like I said, the other layer, of which they call the seasonal layer. That's what it was called. This is dealing in color palettes. They briefly discuss the word frisson, which they define as the involuntary physical response that occurs when something perceived as deeply, truly moves, or what it says, the involuntary physical response that occurs when something perceived as deeply true moves through us, and how frisson drives our aesthetic perception. Basically, what we find beautiful is based off our individual motivation and seasonal drivers. And I find it interesting to know that there's a primal unconscious combination of drivers that contribute to the why behind things that I find aesthetically pleasing versus things I don't. I'm an easily overstimulated person. I find that things that are too busy piss me off, and things that are clear and concise can be too plain and also not piss me off, but be restrictive. I find them to be restrictive, but things that are just right to me are just right. Either way, it's my individual markup and likes and dislikes. I'm happy and I'm grateful for summer weather. Although, I feel like the weather where I live is 12 hours of seasons every day. I'm glad that, it's summertime and the weather is getting warmer. I'm also glad that we're getting more rain, because like other areas of the country, we're experiencing a drought and we need the rain. It's important to have rain. The animals need it. We need it. The earth needs it. Please. The quote: I like low-key souls, the ones who don't live to impress, who don't chase attention, who find joy in the quiet moments and value the little things, simple, grounded, and gentle hearts. Those are my kind of people. I am a low-maintenance person. I've come to realize that it's because I just am. It wasn't because I felt that I'm a burden. I felt like I was a burden. It wasn't because I made myself small. It's because, again, I get overly stimulated really easy. I'm hypervigilant all the time. I like to just chill. Like, I don't like doing too much. I really don't care to be in the presence of people who are doing too much unless I'm being financially compensated, aka unless I'm at work. And that being said, this quote is for the low-key souls like me that just be chilling and grounded and dilly-dallying, you know. But before I go, be sure to check out the show notes. Also, check out my books on Amazon titled Poems to Cry to in the Dark and Love Letters Never Sent to Myself, and leave a 5-star rating. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I'm glad you're still here, and I hope you have the day you deserve. Bye.
One giant leap.
For